Guys, it's Smash Clash here, and today we're going to be looking at part 2 on how to make a Hangman game in Python. So last time we had this program which basically allows you to type a word and some dashes will appear to show the letters of the word. So if I just type a word like play, like I just did here, and I press enter, we put it to that stage where now it goes away. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a second while loop, which is going to be the second phase of the game, which is going to be like when we're done with typing the word and someone has to guess the word. So what we have to do here is we have to make running set back to true after it exits this and make while running. So now we have a second loop and we want this part to still be in the loop right here, so we'll just do this, and then now we have this new loop. But if you see this, if we have while running, if we close the window, it's also gonna go to the second loop. So we don't want us to have to close the window twice, so we'll make a new variable called quit. And quit will be if we should quit the whole program. So we should start off by saying quit is false, and if the quit, like if we press the X button, we set quit to true. So we're have to put here and quit is equal to false. So this is saying if it's running, which is obviously going to be true, and we're not quitting. We're keeping quit is as false up here. Okay? So now we need to start the part of the guess. So first we need to type screen.fill like up here, which is basically gonna allow us to update our screen. Because if we don't have that, if we want to say the incorrect letters part, if we want to update it, if we want to make incorrect letters equals 2, and then it will just show the 2 over the 1 because we're not filling it every time. So this is kind of like resetting the whole board so we can update it more. And we're also going to show pygame.display.update and do that. So now our display will update. So now we need to create the guessing part, and as you saw before, there are some buttons, so we're just gonna make a function called button. Okay, now in this button function, we're gonna have basically every button, and for parameters, we'll just put the X value of the button, the Y value, the width, the height, and that's all we're gonna do right now. And for now, we're just gonna put pygame.draw. So this is just gonna draw the button as a rectangle. So we're gonna do pygame.draw.rect. Rect basically stands for screen. And then for parameters, we're just gonna put on the screen, which is like the variable up here. And then we're just gonna put the XY width height as a tuple. So it's gonna go XY width height. Okay? So this is basically our rectangle that we have drawn. Now we need some more parameters. So now we need the color of the rectangle. So for the color, we'll just put an inactive color, and you'll see why we do that later. So inactive color is here. And I'll just explain right now why we do this. Because as you saw, when we hover over, it changes the color. So we also need an active color. So an inactive color and an active color. And we'll define those variables like right now. So for the inactive color, we'll just put like a red is equal to an RGB value of 200, 0, 0. And then for the bright red, which is going to be the active color, we're just gonna put like the 255, 0, 0. Okay, so now we have inactive color and active color, And now we just need the letter that it's going to represent. So we'll just put another parameter called letter. Okay, now if we do this, now we need to check where the mouse is. And so for a button, there's no actual function in Pygame to make a button. You need to kind of like code it. So we're just gonna take the x and y coordinates of the mouse by doing this pygame.mouse.get_position. This will get where the mouse is, and then we can do some coding to check when the mouse is within this. Okay, so to check if the mouse is in this, we'll just type if mouse if mouse like is the first value of mouse, which is the x value, if that value is greater than if it's greater than x plus y, I mean x plus height or width. So this value, it has to be, I mean, less than width plus x plus width. So if the x value has to be less than the x value plus the width, because that's the right edge of the thing, and then we'll just put less than, it has to be greater than x. So this is basically saying that, just to clarify, the actual center of an object is this side. Like, not, if say this my screen is the object, the center would be here, somewhere here, not in the actual center. So we're just saying x, and the center, to be precise, I believe is up here. This is the center. So we're saying if x is less than the mouse value, the x of the mouse value, and then the mouse value has to be less than the x plus the width, which is the right hand x value. And we'll just do this for the mouse 2 also. So we'll just do mouse 1, and then I think there's an extra space here. Mouse 1, y, and then less than y plus height. So this is checking when our mouse is over the thing. So now what we want to do here is we want to draw a different rectangle over that. If this happens, we want to draw one with an active color, right? We'll do the same coordinates, except now we're using active color. And then now we want to check if our thing was clicked. So like click. So we'll check if we have to define a new variable called click equals pygame.mouse.get_clicked. I mean pressed. So this will check if it's pressed, and this function will return a tuple of 3 values. Okay, and the first value will be your left click. This will be your middle click on like a mouse. Okay, and then this right value will be the right click. But we're only interested in this value, the leftmost value. So now we're going to type if the first value of click, the 0th value of click is equal to 1, which is what it's going to show if it's clicked. Then what we want to do now is we want to check what letter it pressed on, which is where the letter comes in. So we're just going to check every letter in Word. So for I in Word. So we're just checking for every single thing in Word. Or let's just do len word, or like the amount of words, but we'll just do word. Actually, yeah, let's just do a range len word to make it a little simpler. So this will just loop the amount of things there are in Word, and then we're going to check if the letter that this function is corresponding to is equal to the word correspondent on the I. So this is checking if we have cat, and this is the letter D. So first it'll check oh, is D equal to C? No. D is equal to A? No. D is equal to T? No. So then it'll not execute this part. But if it is, now we want to define a new function which is going to write the letter. So up here we'll define a new function, write, and the write function is gonna write stuff basically. Okay, so define a function called write, and it will take the x coordinate of what we want to write, the y coordinate of what we want to write, and what we actually want to write. Okay, so now what we have to do here is to define this write function. We already wrote the define part, so write is gonna have, also we need the font, like the font size. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is to make a write, we're just gonna make this is how you write stuff. So we're just gonna make the font equal to pygame.font. So this is just getting a font, and there's only one free font, the other ones you have to download, but we'll just get free sans bold.ttf. This is the free font. And then the next part you need to put in this is the font size. So we're just going to put font here. Actually, we can't name this font. We'll just put font like details. So then the next thing we're going to put is we're going to put the text is equal to Pygame, this font details. It's going to take the details of the font, and then it's going to render in message. We're just going to take the message, I guess, and we called it text. It's going to render the text. It's going to take a true value. It's going to show it. If we put false, it won't show. And then you have to put the color of the text, which is going to be black, because we're putting it on a white background. Okay, now we're just gonna blit this, which is basically draw. Blit a text, comma the x and y coordinates, so x comma y. So now we basically have a write font. So let's just go down to our button function, and now here we're just gonna write. If it's correct, then we're gonna write the word at. We're gonna write the word at a letter. We're just gonna write letter because that's the so the text is gonna be letter, which is our third parameter. The first parameter is the x, and the second parameter is the y. So for the x, we're just gonna put. This is why we did this range len word, because we have a list called dash x and dash y. So we need to check that exact value in dash x. So if we type dash x, right, so our first parameter is x, so dash xi, so the I value of dash x, comma the value of dash y, the I value of dash y, and then the letter, and then the font size, we're gonna put 32 pixels, because 32 pixels is the size of the dash that we took. Now we're just gonna adjust these two numbers, because as I told you, the center is up here. So I already got these values correct. This is we need to add 7 to this, and then we need to add subtract 20 from this. Okay, so these are the values that will make it exactly in the center of the dash. You could experiment with your own values, but I've tested a lot, and these were the best values. Okay, so now we're writing that letter in this location. Now how do we draw 26 buttons? We're not going to call it 26 times. We're just going to do for I in letters. Like that's the letters that we have. Button. button, we'll just do the X and Y. We're just gonna put a variable because those are constantly changing. X is gonna be set to, the X value is gonna be set to, we'll just say the X value here is gonna be set to um uh the the X value is gonna be set to 0. We can start off with 0, and the Y can be starting off at 0. So in the top right corner. Okay, so now every time we want to call X, Y, width, we'll just do 30 by 30. And then height, we already did height. Inactive color is red, active color is bright red, and then letter is going to be I, which is basically our loop. Okay, so now if we do this, it should create these buttons, but now we also need to change the X value. So we'll just add 30 to the X value. So if we save this, so if we type a word, then so the error has been fixed. So what was happening was we didn't have a quit, so then the computer was going to crash. So I just added this quit statement here. Now if we save this and we run this, we can see we have, okay, if we just do this, we have like this row of buttons that we can put stuff on. So now we want to put some text on these buttons. So on our button function, at the end here, we'll just put write. We're just going to write some text on this button with our write function. So we'll just go write on, actually we'll just do this one with without using our write function, because there's a different thing that we have to use. So here we'll just do font details is equal to pygame.font. So I'll just copy this, because there's like this function that you can center with the rectangle that we made. So, and then we'll just do the text is equal to the font underscore details dot render letter and true and then black. And one thing I noticed is that we want our letter to be uppercase, so I'm just going to do upper. Okay. Now we will, there's another thing that we can do is called text underscore rect. So the rect, or we can basically tell the center of our text. So text center, I guess we can do text underscore center is equal to the text that we have before dot get underscore rect. This text get underscore rect will set the actual center of the text to be that. So like that text, it'll set the actual center. So this is like the actual center, not this, like the actual center. So we'll just put the center equals to, so you can do more stuff, but we'll just do center, the center parameter in this, and we'll put the center as the X value plus the width value divided by 2, and then comma the Y value plus the height divided by 2. So this is kind of the center. and we have to put this in a tuple. So this is our two coordinates. So we have a tuple and then these two values. So the x plus width divided by 2, which will give you the center in this area and then this area. So this get rect and then center allows you to actually center the text. So if we do this and we have an error, font is not defined. What is, oh, okay, yeah. So this font value, we'll just give our own value 32 pixels. And we'll enter here, and it did not show up. Why is it not? Okay, yeah, because we didn't blit it, obviously. Screen dot blit, and to blit it, we'll just do the text, comma the text underscore center. Okay, now if we do this, we should get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, so as you can see, these are like, they're not exact, like we're U, V, W, X, Y, and Z are missing. So T is the 20th letter, I think, in the alphabet. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. So if it's great, if the value is 21, I mean, if it is 20 in our for loop, no, wrong for loop. If the value of, not here, if I is equal to the letter after T. So what is the letter after T? U. So if E is equal to T, because this is after we're blitting it. So if the I value is T, then we want to change the Y by 40. So now if we look at this, T, it's not changing by 40. If I is equal to T. Actually, let's do it this way. So we'll do it in for I in range, len, letters. So we're just going to do it the same amount of iterations as before, but we're just doing it in a different way. And then here, instead of I, we'll do letter I. And then if I is equal to 20. So if it's the 20th letter. Okay, let's try this. It's still not going down. Okay, yeah, I think I might know why now. Here we also have to reset X. So X is now also going to be reset to 40. I mean, 0. X is going to just get reset because it originally wasn't. Yeah, see, now we have this. So now we have these buttons. So now, but as you can see, we lost our dashes because we don't have the show lines function here. So we'll just call show lines. Now we should have this working. And as you can see, you quickly saw like whatever correct letters that we're pressing, they quickly appear and disappear, right? That's because they're not staying forever. So in our button function, this is the last thing we'll do. In our button function, we'll add a list called correct underscore letters is equal to an empty list. And then here we'll do correct underscore letters dot append letter. I mean, yeah, if they get it correct. And then down here we'll do the same thing we did in the button function. Where's the button function? Write this. Okay, and then here we'll do for I in range len correct letters. So let's see. and I think I spelled correct letters around here. And so we're doing this for every value in correct letters. We're just gonna write this, the I value plus 7, and then we're just gonna write it again. And the letter here is gonna be correct underscore letters and then I. So I believe that should do it. And then if we do this and we type a word like cat, and now you saw that all of it got there. So no, and then here we need to write for if. Here we need to write another if condition. If word I is equal to correct. Actually, here we'll do another if for loop for j in word, because we need to check if it's equal. If, then we'll do if correct underscore letters I is equal to j, then we'll just if it's equal, then we'll do that. Then if we type like that, H is in the word, but it's still showing a multiple times. This. And then we'll put a word here. We'll put word here, okay? Because the correct letters is we want to take the value from the word, not from correct letters. So if word I is equal to j, we want this now to go work, because we want the I value of the word, not the correct letters list, which could literally be in any order. So if we take cat, it doesn't work. Yes. A, it's still A. You can. Is that an A showing up? And T. Okay, so there's like a C showing up. Why is there a C showing up? Oh, okay, so we have correct letters I, not word I here. So let's go that again. Cat, C A T. So that's it for this video.